Welcome to In Pursuit of. My guest is a feminist, and it's not a woman, it's a man who runs an organization named Even Cargo. Welcome, Yogesh Kumar, and he is in pursuit of
creating equal livelihood opportunities for women.
So, Yogesh, tell me, how do you livelihoods? There are so many possibilities. How do you create equal opportunities for women?
So the idea of Even Cargo was how do we make Delhi a safer place for women? If Delhi, or for that matter India, truly has to become a safer place for women, the gender biases needs to be challenged in action. So that's what we thought, that we would create livelihood opportunities for women in sectors that have been traditionally inaccessible to them or have been largely dominated by men.
So which sectors are these and which one are you working with?
The idea of Even Cargo rests on three major objectives. One is to challenge gender norms by creating equal livelihood opportunities for women. The second one is to increase access to public spaces for women. And third one is to increase women labor force participation in the country. So to increase access to public spaces for women, we wanted to be in a sector which kind of facilitates this thing for women. So then we thought of venturing into logistics, because the term delivery in 2016 when we started was pretty much synonymous with boys. So you would say delivery boy, delivery boy, delivery boy. So we are fortunate that we were the first organization to introduce women in the e-commerce logistics space in 2016.
Amazing. Really? You're the first organization across India?
I believe so, across globe, but at least in India.
Wow. Yes. That's very impressive, Yogesh. So how did it fare, like from then to now? What's the journey been like?
It's been difficult, like super difficult, because you can convince, say, companies. Convincing companies was also challenging that women can actually come and work in this space. Convincing their family members was also a daunting task. But the biggest challenge came from women themselves, because women themselves felt that there are certain jobs which are meant for them and there are certain jobs which are not meant for them. So convincing women that you can actually go and do this job was really difficult. But fortunately, we started with two women in 2016 and kept on growing from there on.
My goodness, why were they so worried about taking up this job? And two, corporates, why, women are abled, smart, they can read addresses. I mean, if they're educated like any man can, and they are smarter with customers, I would believe, because they're softer. So why did corporates also have an issue with it?
There are multiple reasons why women would not take up such jobs. One, and the strongest one, I believe, is the patriarchal mindset. So patriarchal mindset is not just confined to men. I mean, women also kind of become prey to such kind of biases or practices. So they would believe that jobs are decided on the basis of gender, that going out, doing delivery, earning for the family is largely a man's responsibility. And that is something that they have seen and understood for a large part of their life. So it is also very difficult for them to overcome this inertia of taking up jobs which they haven't seen women doing. Apart from that, how people will look at them and perhaps how are they going to navigate through different challenges when they take up such jobs. As far as corporates are concerned, I think corporates never thought that women can actually come and work in this space. So corporates consist of people from our society only, you, me, and people around us would go and work there. So majority of these people have not seen women doing such kind of work. So it was very new to them. Obviously, they were hesitant to allow women to kind of get into this space.
So how have you, over the years, what has your success been like in this?
So I think the journey has been really fulfilling. One, because when we started in 2016, we did not know where would we end up as an organization, as a intervention, or perhaps just as an idea that women belong everywhere. I mean, women can actually go and work in the logistics space But fortunately, over the period of time, we have got a lot of support from a lot of people, organization, for that matter, even community members. And we have been able to prove through data that warehouses where women are employed, the losses due to accidental damage and theft came down by over 18%.
What?
Yeah, so that directly translates into monetary benefits for the corporates. So all the corporates might not have the agenda, intention to be diverse or to be inclusive, or perhaps that is not their mandate. But when they see value in employing women more than just inclusion, which is unfortunate, they kind of subscribe to the idea of including more women in the workforce. So we have to prove through data that women make equal or at times better delivery associates than their male counterparts.
So Yogesh, tell us a little more about how does your organization function, what happens?
We basically mobilize women largely from resource poor areas. We train them on 4 skills. One is mobility, self-defense, communication, and logistics specific training. So once women are trained, then they're placed in the nearest hub to their residence. So it could be any of the e-commerce companies that we are working with. And then she start working with that particular company and start delivering.
How many corporates do you work with at this moment?
We have 5 e-commerce companies as customers.
You are a social enterprise and you're technically you're a for-profit. So
Yes.
hasn't any VC found you? Because this is very investable, isn't it?
Yeah. So we were approached by some firms in 2019, and they wanted to kind of invest, but the initial conversations went in a different direction.
Like?
So we put a cap on the weight that a woman would carry. We put a cap on the number of hours that she would be working for, and we also make sure that she get paid well. So that is our responsibility as an organization to make sure that they're being paid fairly. But the conversation went in a direction where the VCs were more inclined towards, how can you increase the number of parcels that a woman is carrying? How can you increase the time for which they are delivering? And nothing wrong with it. I think a lot of organizations are working towards achieving better efficiency. So we want to be efficient, we want to be productive, but not at the cost of the of people for whom we are working. So I think VC funding is a very different model, and organizations which exist to create impact might not always align with what a VC firm would expect. And an organization which is more focused on impact will never be able to generate the kind of returns that a commercial organization would.
So what is your biggest challenge at the moment, Yogesh?
So the biggest challenge that we are facing is that not enough women are mobile in our country. And that is the biggest problem, not just for our organization, but the entire country. So the Niti Aayog report says that there will be 25 million jobs created in gig economy by 2030. So just take example of 25 million jobs. If you want to achieve 10% of inclusion, that means 2.5 million jobs.
For women?
For women, at least. You have to train 4,000 women per month on mobility to create 1% inclusion. Unfortunately, we don't have many organizations or even a couple of organizations which are working at a scale even to achieve 1% inclusion. So I think,
and also that
mobility
needs
for
funds as well. I mean,
it requires fund, but I think it is something which is worth investing by government, by corporate, CSR, any organization that wants to work towards creating better livelihood opportunities for women has to look at it as one big task. Tomorrow, all those jobs will be going to men.
Yogesh, tell me, have there been any really tough instances and how have you been able to tackle those? Anyone would also do.
I think the COVID time was really difficult for us, as it was for majority of the people. People believe that during COVID times, logistics organization grew a lot. They kind of gained the momentum because it was just about delivering stuff from here to there. But they don't realize for a company like ours, which only employs women, we were the first casualties. So, when the lockdown was announced, everybody was confined to their household, and you would not want women of your house to go out and work because somebody has to do the household work. So that was the challenging time for us. we as an organization decided that we would not stop the salaries of women who are working with us, because all of them come from really difficult background, and by the end of the COVID cycle we almost went broke. But fortunately we recovered from that. Apart from that, one of the biggest challenges that stays with us is whenever we go and open a new hub or a new station, the conversation would always revolve around whether women would be able to do this or not.
Nice. So, Yogesh, share a story with us of one of your women drivers, delivery girls, who is a real success story and makes you say, wow, this is why we do this.
I think one or two that comes to my mind right now is Kiran. So she works at Shahadra hub of Delhi. So she is a single woman, and she has been working with us for the past, I think, 6 years now, and she has been consistently earning more than 30,000 per month. So she has bought a house for herself, and that in our eyes is perhaps the biggest achievement for us. There's another case of Shakuntala, who is a single mother. She came from Rajasthan, a victim of domestic abuse. So for her, flexible work timing was the challenge. So we work with our customer to make sure that she gets this opportunity to keep on working by making her timings flexible. So she kind of drops her son to the school in the morning, comes to work, works for a good 5-6 hours, then go back and pick up her son, and then go back home and do the rest of the household work that is required to be done. So I think those are the two stories that are coming to my mind right now.
Nice. Both lovely stories, actually. So, how do you build awareness around this? How do you get the girls on board?
For a social enterprise, I think you have to do a lot of things rather than just focusing on building your organization. So we do a lot of awareness campaigns as well. So right now we are running a program which is in second edition called Mahila Rozgar Mela. So we are going to different districts of our country. So we went to Patiala, we went to Ludhiana, we went to Mohali, we went to Ahmedabad, we went to Jaipur, and building awareness around non-traditional skill sets, job roles for women. So women would come and we would tell them about different job opportunities which are available, and then those of them who are interested would fill in the interest form, and then we would kind of help them get employed. So we keep on doing this. This is a targeted effort for us, but other than that also we keep on engaging ourselves in creating and building awareness around non-traditional job roles for women.
Very nice. So, what is up next for Even Cargo?
For the past 8 years, we have only confined ourselves to last mile logistics, employing women for the delivery job roles. But I think moving forward, retention is the biggest challenge that majority of the corporates are facing. So we will be skilling women on warehousing and other allied roles within the logistics space.
Okay.
We are also planning to launch a mobile application which will be launched in a week's time. Women would be able to apply for different kind of job roles through this mobile application.
But tell me, women might apply for certain roles, but how do you ensure that they're skilled enough for it?
We already have customers who would want to employ women at their organization. So we can act as a bridge, provide them with basic training, make them employable, and place them with various organizations. And this way we will be able to increase the women labor force participation in our country.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Yogesh.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to you. Lovely knowing about your organization, and I'm inspired. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching our show. I will be continuing my conversation with Yogesh. Stay tuned and do subscribe to In Pursuit Of.